I noticed that when I'm trying to identify like any stressful thought, I can, or I think I land on the thought, but then as I'm starting to work, like doing the work on that worksheet, I can see that I'm not quite there and that some other thoughts are popping off. So I was wondering, what's your experience with that? And if you think it's better just to like put that first thought like to the side and then work on that one you identified, or if there's a benefit to like work on both, or what would be the best strategy you think?
That's a good question. That is actually one that has come up many times with me, with my clients, with different people. And I don't have a cut and dried answer for that. I don't know like there's one right way to do that. Um, yeah, but I can share my thinking about it. So maybe you will have some ideas as we think about it. So part of what makes the work meaningful is that I've chosen a thought that genuinely is stressing me. And sometimes it's hard to find what is the thought that's actually stressing me. And so my first attempt might be kind of close to what's bothering me, but it's not exactly what's bothering me. It's close. My experience is that you can do the work on a thought that is close, but not exact. And it will work probably 90%. It will work quite well. So sometimes I just trust that is good enough. We're not going for perfection here. It's good enough, and go ahead and do the work. So from that point of view, I might just continue with the same stressful thought that I found originally. The other side of it is sometimes I'm going along and I'm like, oh my God, that's really it. I get it now. That's really what's bothering me. And it's so clear and so overwhelming, and so there's just not even a question about it, that I just switch to that one and just start over doing my work from scratch with the new thought as the new thought that I'm questioning. That's also valid. And then I go back on the other hand again. There is value, there is a certain thing to be aware of that can happen when you're doing the work and I've identified a thought, and then you find another one, and then you're like, oh, I'll switch to that one. Then the mind might start looking, oh, there's maybe even a better one, and I'll switch to that one. And then you can start going like on and on and on, trying to find the perfect thought. And what really is happening there is the mind is just skipping. It's just skipping along, and it's not diving in. So if you dig a well, there's water pretty much everywhere. Some places have more water. Some places have like pressure water. Like they have all kinds of different kinds of wells. But you're going to find water probably in most places. Not every place, but most places. And it might be sometimes better to just stick with the one you already invested drilling like a pretty long ways than just keep going with that and finish and get some water. Otherwise, you can have a lot of small holes everywhere and you're never reaching any water at all. And that's worse. But if you have the time, or if you really are getting, it is valuable. That's why I say there are two sides. It is valuable sometimes to find the really great water hole than just go there and really enjoy the insights that come from that. So yeah, like I said, I don't have a one-way answer for that, but those are the thoughts that come up for me. Is I don't want to be skipping around. I don't want to be just staying on the surface by changing my thoughts a lot. Any thought in the vicinity, any thought in the area of the general stressful thought is going to get you something. You're going to go somewhere, even if it's not perfect. Like I often say, I'm in the ballpark. That's good enough. I don't have to be any closer than that. And it's also true that when I really nail it, it really does open something up. So all those things are true. And you just have to decide as you're doing your work what feels right to you. Maybe I'll just continue with this one. I'm close enough. Let's keep going. Or, you know what, this is so clear. I'm going to change to this new one, and that's fine. And another option is finish the one you're on. Maybe you go a little faster and just finish it. Find the turnarounds, just finish that particular questioning of that thought, and then put the next thought on and start working like that. Byron Katie actually has a good system for that. She calls it the sidebar, where you start working on something and then you realize another stressful thought has come up. Then you just write it in the side, and you can write as many of those as you like. And you're not breaking out of the inquiry that you're working on, but you're just making a note. And then when you finish this one, then you can go to your list and go in and start working on that. So that might be, in a way, the best compromise or the best way of dealing with this. But I don't like to make it a rigid rule. I think I've seen it work very well in all of these situations. Just keeping working on the same one, changing to the different one, finishing one, then going to the other one, all of that. And also keep in mind that it's not usually just one thought that holds everything. It's often a family of thoughts. And so I may have worked the cousin, and now I'm going to work the person himself, and I may need to still work the brother and the sister. And it's a funny analogy, but basically there might be a whole family of related thoughts, and you might have to work several different ones, even in several different situations, before that thought really gets clear or gets turned around and you really get the clarity that you're looking for. So the mind sometimes looks for the one. I'm going to do this one thought. I'm going to find the king pin. I'm going to remove that, and then everything will be done. It's like the shortcut version of doing the work. But it's not always like that. Sometimes it's, like I say, a family of thoughts, and you might need to work a bunch of them, because each one is going to give different turnarounds. It's going to give different insights. You're going to get a different flavor. And all of those together may be necessary before the whole thing starts to become clear and your mind starts to relax and be okay with it. So that's my thoughts.